Hi guys, it's Angie. It's Angie Yingst coming in live. I'm trying to get on Facebook so I can see myself and see comments if y'all comment here. So, how's everyone doing? I'm here today to talk about the energy of March and all the earth medicine allies that I chose. And I always choose a tarot card and I do that kind of work. So just pop in and say hi if you're here. Let me make sure. Hi, Lizzie. Okay, trying to get on Facebook so I can see myself. Hi, Dawn. Yay. Okay, here I am. I'm going to make sure that I can't hear myself. I'm sorry. It's a little technical stuff. Oop. All right. If I can turn myself off. Hi, Vicky. Okay. I didn't do that right. How can I see comments? Oh, there we go. Hi, Tara. Hi, Ron. All right. So let's talk about some of the energy of March. I have new reading glasses, so they're a little dorky, but whatever. So February was an interesting month, right? We started February with Mercury retrograde, which always kind of puts difficulty on communication and connection, and just like electronics and just normal stuff. So that station direct on the 19th, I think, of March. Let me look at my calendar. On the 20th, sorry, of February, it station direct. And yeah, Vicky said it was very retro. Yeah, it was very retrograde this time. So there was a lot of like confusion and just like saying stuff and people taking things wrongly. And those kind of things happen during Mercury. So we're still in this shadow period, which I think is kind of ending and waning. But, if you're still feeling some of that energy, pretty normal. It happens for a while. But I think, we came into this full moon last night. So we're still in that full moon period. And it's a full moon in Virgo. So Virgo is kind of precise and it is organized. And I don't know how to, like, if I say clean, I don't mean like it's literally clean. I just mean like the energy feels like there's not a lot of confusion, right? So it's like, that's the positive part of Virgo. It just is precise. So we like that part. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Lauren. So we're just moving out of that full moon in Virgo period, which I feel like is a great time to be getting our, energy aligned, right? So we're aligning with what we want, our goals. Virgo's great with that. So we have this Mercury station direct, and we're in Pisces season. So Pisces is a water sign. It's pretty dreamy. So if you're having lots of like interesting dreams right now, that's part of Pisces energy. Pisces also is creative. They're emotional. It kind of is a wonderful ally for this time of the year where it's, we're at the end of winter and we're internal. So we can do a lot of dream work and a lot of kind of journey work and meditation work. That's wonderful for Pisces energy. So as we're starting March, one of the astrological signs that happens is Mars is moving into Gemini on the 3rd. So why does that matter? Sometimes I talk about these things, sometimes I don't. So Mars is moving into Gemini, and Mars like rules your anger, your passion, your kind of fire, your sex life, for example. And Gemini is a very airy, up here, intellectual energy. It's very speaky. It talks a lot. So Gemini can be kind of restless. It shifts a lot. It gets different interests. It jumps around. It can be irritable. It can be talkative. So the irritability and talkativeness together, when you're looking at Mars and Gemini together, irritability and talkativeness can lead to some disasters in friendships and relationships. So all I'm saying is let's look at some discipline in terms of our speech. So not firing off an email before we like to sit on it for a little bit. So there's that. So Midnight Rider asked if like I'm pulling cards or like asked if a personal question. So this is a general reading for everyone for March. So no, I don't. Lauren asked me if I pull cards. I don't pull cards. I don't do that for this. I pull a card for everyone and talk about the energy for the whole month. So that's what this is all about. So sorry, guys. So I don't do that personal stuff for this reading in March. So I haven't done a live pull in a really long time, but maybe I should like schedule something like that. So I'll let you know if I ever do live polls, and just continue to watch my page, and I'll kind of try to advertise it so you can come and be present for that, because that's a lot of fun too. So hi, Bernie. All right, so then for this month in March, the new moon is on the 13th, and it's in Pisces. So again, new moon in Pisces is an emotional time. It's very deep because you're going internal. So we're doing like emotional work during that new moon, and setting intentions. You can really set intentions for this new moon in March in Pisces for relationships and love relationships and all that kind of stuff. That's a really great way to kind of use that Pisces energy. And then on the 20th, the sun enters the sign of Aries. So that's also the first day of spring. Yay. If you're on the northern hemisphere, if you're in the southern hemisphere, first day of autumn. But, this is a really great time to set intentions. This was traditionally the beginning of the agrarian calendar, where we started. So we're planting seeds at that time. You can do a lot of intention work and kind of just get into it. The full moon in March is on the 28th, and that's going to be in Libra. So you got the sun in Aries, and basically the moon is in Libra. So when you have the sun in Aries, so what's interesting is when the sun moves into Aries is like the baby of the zodiac, but it's also like kind of convinced it's a boss ass bitch. So like it is very strong. It's a leadership sign. So it's like you've got that strong leadership energy. And so it's dynamic, it's strong, it's leader. One thing that Aries can't do is they're not very good at lying, they're not very good at hiding. They tend to be like pretty straightforward, or they don't say anything at all. They don't really suffer fools too much. So I think that's part of the energy that Aries can bring forth, is that they are leaders and they tend to like say what they want, and do what they want, because they're impulsive, and they can be emotional. They're kind of like covert emotional people. So they're great at leading and starting projects and being creative and doing that kind of work. So, just remembering that that's also part of this Aries time. So we're looking at after the 20th, really feeling that. So you've got that new equinox energy. Then you get this full moon in Libra on the 28th. And the Libra is all about, balance. So they're, the kind of justice image, right? So when you have Aries, sun, Libra, moon, you're kind of looking at this pull and push between being alone and being with others, and learning how to be in relationship. So I like that. I love, when you kind of are trying to figure out what does freedom mean. And I love this quote from, I forget, it's a poem. But he said, like, bondage from this, or emancipation from the soil is no freedom for a tree. And so we can kind of think of relationships that way. Like sometimes the idea of freedom and getting out of the soil is actually the thing that really is challenging and difficult. So we have to like be always wrestling with, is this choking me, or is this feeding me? And that's good that's always good for us to do in relationships. So the full moon really is about our personal needs versus attending to the needs of others, and can be very, very helpful. So, hi, Rebecca. Hi, Mom. My mom's here. Hi, Mommy. All right. So I always pull cards, and just because I'm a tarot reader, I like to kind of have a guiding card, and I randomly, shuffle and pull. So today, last month's card was, I think it was the High Priestess, and we pulled the Magician. So it's really cool that we're always getting these wonderful major arcana cards. And I don't think I need my glasses for that because I don't like the glare that it gives. So hi, Teresa. But I sometimes do when I have to read. So the Magician energy that comes in for March is, it's funny because it's the one of the major arcana. So it is kind of like the baby of the majors too. But he is far from being a baby, because the Magician brings forth a lot of power and alchemy. There's a lot of transformation that happens with the Magician. He's one that makes things happen, right? He can change form. He can change things, change the form of things that come at him, right? So what does that mean? And we talk about transmutation and alchemy a lot. But what that means is, like, it's not necessarily literal changing a form, though sometimes that's the energy of the Magician. But the idea here is that he takes what he has and he uses them, and he makes them something more than they are alone. The Magician, if you think about what a magician does and what he is, a magician spends many, many years, decades, learning how to make it look like he's doing nothing, and that magic's real. And I think that can be a powerful metaphor of how the Magician often comes out in our lives, is that we take all of this stuff that we've experienced and we weave it together and we make it usable, so nothing is wasted. And the Magician sometimes makes it look like he's not doing anything, right? And I often see this when people are at work and they feel unappreciated, right? But they are also kind of indispensable. Like they started doing this thing and that thing and another thing. They took on this role and over here and this role over here. And people don't even know how those things get done. They're just done. And they have a really hard time saying, I'm the one who did that. Like, I'm the magician. Like, I'm the one who works the magic. There's no elves that come in here at night. I'm the one who makes it happen. I always laugh with my husband too, because when we have parties, sometimes I freak out. Well, I haven't had a party through all of COVID, but you know what I mean? I'll freak out and be like, oh, I have to get everything ready and clean and do this. And I'm cooking and I always go overboard because it's my nature. And he goes, don't worry, everything always gets done. I was like, that's because I do this every single time. I freak out and I'm nervous and all of that stuff. So it's like, it's that magician energy of like, yeah, it's because I freak out and I make it happen that it happens. So, the magician is that kind of person behind the curtain who's making everything happen. But he embodies this sort of as above, so below energy. So he kind of has an esoteric knowledge that we don't always know about. So he is making things grow, he's making things happen, but he's doing it by prayer and thought and action. So he has a combo. And I think it's important to remember that, because we sometimes talk about like manifesting and we think of it as, I'm just going to say this intention and not do anything else. That's not what happens. You're supposed to like bring the shovel, right? Did you ever hear that phrase of like, God will help you move mountains, but you have to bring the shovel? And that's what the magician does. The magician brings the shovel and he asks God for some help. He also has on his table all of the symbols of each of the elements. So the cups are the wand, or the water. The wands are fire, swords are air, and pentacles are earth. So he kind of brings all of that together. So this is a month where we say nothing is wasted. You're going to use every aspect. So even the most difficult aspects, the ones that you're really struggling with, the interpersonal conflicts, the times when things didn't go your way, all of those things are going to be used. The magician's not going to let you waste anything. And that's part of what this infinite symbol, that esoteric infinity means, that he's connected to all that is. And so when we often think like, okay, there's God's plan, right? Or God's plan, or the world's plan, or the universe has an idea. And we think of that as being something like, a dismissive thing to say. But part of that idea here is, the magician says, there's a bigger plan and I'm going to trust in it. And, it's not meant to be dismissive. The magician says that to himself. He doesn't say it to others. And so this isn't a permission slip for you to say that to people. I hate that when people say that to me when I'm not interested in it. But it's really great when I can say it to myself, when I say, okay, there is a plan and I just have to follow it, and move forward. So the magician is a wonderful manifester, bringing forth things. So I would, make a list of what it is that you actually want. And then realizing that everything is going to be used for that, even the failures. Somebody, I remember kind of talking to somebody about dating or whatever, and they're like, why is it so many people dating? It's like, it really will stop when you find the person that you want to be with. It's not always about the amount of failures you have or the amount of things that don't go forward. You're always on a fact-finding mission for who you are and what you want out of life. And if you can approach it that way, that's how the magician approaches things, that's how the alchemist approaches things. There's so many failures. From what I know, how many times does the alchemist have to make lead into gold? Only once, but he probably fails thousands and thousands of times, because the alchemist continually tries to figure out that recipe of transmutation. And we do too. We have many failures in all aspects of our life before we get to that point of really understanding what it is that we need and how we go about that. So again, this month is about being on a fact-finding mission. It's about understanding who you are and bringing all of your things together. You are powerful, and the magician is powerful. So this is a powerful month. Now we're starting in Pisces and we're moving into Aries. And I think those can be a really potent combination of this kind of work. Pisces is an internal, emotional journey. And then Aries moves into the fiery doing, leadership kind of energy. So you can kind of move from one, you can see yourself moving from one to the other. Just going to come over and say hi to some people. Hi, Judy Forder. Hi, Patty. Hi, Jay. Hi, Sheila. Thanks for being here. I'm talking about the energy of the month of March as we're going into March 1st. And, I do these readings because I have a subscription service or membership service where I do readings on the full moon and the new moon. And I do shamanic journey for each month. And if you're a member, then I send it to you. And I just like to talk about what Earth allies and how you can manage. So this group reading that I do for everyone is kind of like a universal energy reading. And then if you're part of my membership group, then you get the shamanic journey with the animal that we use as our guide for the month. And then you can, kind of ask me questions too, if you have any about some of that earth medicine that I'm going to bring forward. Hi, Susan. So I also pull animal guide, a plant guide, and crystals. So let's talk about the plant of the month. So this month I pulled borage, and it's from, oh gosh, where's the book? I don't know. It's the Hedge Witch's Botanical Oracle. I can see it in front of me now. And she's wonderful. She has plants, and then they all have, and I don't know if you can see it, a correspondence. So borage has the correspondence of courage. And I love that for borage. So borage is actually, traditionally, it was eaten before battle by the Greeks. I believe, and it was used in wine in Celtic. The Celtics used the borage in wine before battle. So yeah, it's cool. There's a lot, you can eat it, and it grows like it's a little star flower, like one of these blue star flowers. It grows all over, and I cultivate it like in my own garden, to do my own stuff. So courage is sort of the oracle property of borage here in this deck, and I love that. Um, it's also really wonderful for increasing psychic work. It's good for dream work if you have a little borage in tea. It's good for relieving symptoms of depression, which, if you have been navigating the long winter, it's been a lot of gray days in a row. So, looking at things like seasonal depression can help us, just increase. So borage is a wonderful guide and ally for that work, and you can just add it to tea, and you can add some other flowers and things. Some people like to make it with a simple syrup, like a borage syrup, and then put it in other things. So you would do that with sugar and on the stove top. So you can candy borage, you can do all kinds of things with it. So just remembering that we're kind of like being courageous, and that goes along with this medicine of the magician, thinking about like when you have to put yourself out there and become the magician, you often need a lot of courage, because you have to believe in yourself, and you have to be really present with that oneness, right? Like, who am I? I am capable. I am worthy of putting myself out there. I'm worthy of being a teacher. I'm worthy of guiding others. I'm worthy of being the one who does all of these things, So we do some of that work. And I think borage is a nice complement and ally for that in terms of plant medicine. Okay, so that's our plants. Let's talk about our stones of the month. Oh my gosh. I just did a reading for someone and pulled some stones, and also got one of these stones for them. And she's one of my membership members. And so I was like, I'm just going to shuffle this around. Of course, it fell out again, because this is a stone that I think we can all be working with right now. So Moldavite is one of our guides for March. So I always pull 3 stones. Now, Moldavite it's not a crystal. It's a tektite. So Moldavite comes from one region in Russia, and it is formed by a meteor impact. So is the Moldavite from the meteor, or from the earth, or from the combo of both? Like, most of us think it's from the combo of the meteor hitting and being so hot it formed glass. Okay, so it is different than a crystal, except that Moldavite has a super high vibration. This piece of Moldavite I got from Tucson, the Tucson Gem Show, and it's super it's amazing. But this was my first piece. So a lot of the Moldavites you'll find are going to be really small, and there are a lot of fakes out there right now. So just remembering that, you want to buy from reputable sources for stones. But Moldavite has this kind of transformative properties. There's whole books written on Moldavite, because people have experienced such dramatic transformation when they start working with it. It can be faceted. It can be made into jewelry and whatnot, but this is a stone of transformation and transition and change. It can be the one that opens your mind, and kind of that vibration is so ungrounding at times that some people need to slowly move into working with Moldavite. You don't need to sleep with it on the first time you pick it up, because Moldavite has the reputation of high vibration. So some people get heart palpitations, they feel lightheaded, they feel ungrounded. When I started working with Moldavite, like, I left my purse at home, like, I don't know, 3 times in the same week. It was bad. Like, I just kept forgetting things, and I realized I was super ungrounded because I was working with Moldavite. And it's known to help with astral journeying, astral travel, with shamanic journey, with transforming journeys and transforming work. So a lot of people love working with Moldavite, and I have some people that are in my classes and stuff that have Moldavite and they wear it all 100% of the time. Like I'm just way too earthy to wear Moldavite all the time, but I have used it in really profound ways. I did build up to sleeping with it, and that was hard. I can just tell you that I slept okay, but my little, at the time, 2-year-old Tommy came into bed, and like he was just jumping in his sleep, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, his soul is trying to astral journey. So I like took the Moldavite out of the room so he could sleep. But yeah, that's kind of how powerful it is. So yeah. Oh, Teresa's like, oh my God, sleeping with Moldavite. Has anyone ever? I have tried. I have slept with it. I had wild, really far out dreams. So Vicky said, oh my gosh, that's a big chunk of Moldavite. It is a big chunk. And it has a lot of mystical values. It does kind of feel like there's a cult around Moldavite. Like people who are into Moldavite are really, really into Moldavite. And it's powerful. But you can use other tektites. Like if you're having trouble finding Moldavite, you can use black tektites, or you can use something like golden Libyan tektite. They're also really amazing allies for transformation work, and kind of connecting like with otherworldly energies. Again, like that, this is a really big piece. Okay. Do not expect to find a piece like this for an inexpensive amount. This is going to be an expensive stone. I'm a crystal healer. I sometimes have expensive stones. This is a nice size. You can see it's like the size of my thumbnail. So it really is, you don't need much because it's so high vibrational. Also, sit and meditate with it. If you're not feeling anything, you can basically ask it to be activated. So I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but that's what I'm doing right now. Woo-woo. So if you don't like woo-woo, this might not be the right place for you. But yeah, we can kind of work with Moldavite for transformation and like massive transformation. I do want to say something about Moldavite. It's not for everyone. Some people feel super sick and they don't like Moldavite and the way they feel. That's totally fine. You don't have to work with Moldavite. But if you decide to work with Moldavite, just remember what you're bringing into, your energy right now, because Moldavite is a transformer and it is something that's going to shift your energy. Oh yeah, a bunch of people are saying they love Libyan desert glass. Yeah, it is amazing. I'm kind of been more drawn to the golden Libyan tektites instead of the Moldavite and the other tektites. Golden Libyan tektite has a really beautiful golden sheen. Kind of wish I had brought it up, but it works. It's gentler. It's just got this really clear, clean energy and just really fun to work with. So, oh, hi, Rev B. He said, I have a bit of Moldavite with black tourmaline that I work with. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's that would be really good combo. To bring Moldavite and black tourmaline, because black tourmaline has a transmuting kind of energy, and then Moldavite has a transforming. So it would be nice to kind of clear out some of the stuff. Some people have, when they work and meditate with Moldavite, will have like kind of disturbing images. And part of, I guess I should talk about like when you do dream work and when you start working with journeys and shamanic work, when you have disturbing imagery that comes up for you, these are just, they're not to be afraid of them. They're already inside of you. So just kind of dialoguing with, why is this so freaky to me? Why is this scaring me? What is scary about this imagery? What does this analogy mean? What do these symbols mean? And just kind of getting curious with that instead of being fearful and shutting down can be very helpful in pushing through. But again, not for everyone. not everyone likes to have those kind of relaxing meditations, of like disturbing imagery. So yeah, just remembering that you get to control your meditations and your journey. So that's our first stone ally. Our second stone ally is Rutilated Quartz. This is a cut and polished Rutilated Quartz. You can see the rutile image. So rutile is its own stone, and it is embedded in quartz. And you can see they're like fine threads in there of rutile. And rutile works with the solar plexus. It's a stone of kind of will and transformation too. It's good for transitions and for changing. So setting intentions and doing some work into the next phase of what you want to transform into is wonderful. It's a great ally for the magician, because the magician does use kind of like the power of will and the great I am kind of principles, and Rutilated Quartz does the same work. I love this double terminated, and it would be wonderful to lay right on the solar plexus, because it would, kind of help guide the doing and the like not love, but like, what is your passion around this transition? What are you trying to achieve? So working with Rutilated Quartz for the month of March is going to connect more with that Aries energy and more with that magician energy than it is with the Piscean energy. So not the best to sleep with, but definitely great to do meditation work, to lay on the body. You can even make like, gem waters or some grids if you have enough rutilated quartz for that work. Thanks, Susan. Rev B says, love rutile. I love rutile too. I don't have like its own piece anymore. I did have a piece, but I ended up giving it away. But that happens to a lot of my crystals. Okay, and then the last stone that we're working with in March is rhodonite. And rhodonite is, this piece, I'm like, wow, I love this rhodonite. And this is often what happens. I just ordered this in February, and then it comes. And of course, rhodonite is our stone for March. One of the three. But rhodonite works in this heart chakra area. It is wonderful for healing and working with relationships and connecting with, forgiveness, working on unforgiveness can be good with this. This will be more of your Piscean energy. So better to work with in the front of the month is the rhodonite. And I love rhodonite because it often is associated with the solar plexus too. It has a kind of will and moves forward. Like in physical healing, we work with rhodonite for liver function, for example, and for kidney function. So rhodonite's a wonderful ally. And the, again, keywords here are going to be forgiveness. So, when I talked about disturbing images coming up when you work with Moldavite, the rhodonite can help heal those things. So you can kind of work with what's getting stuck and then kind of give it some love. And, you're calling out shadow when you see disturbing images with Moldavite. And again, Moldavite, that doesn't happen for everybody with Moldavite. It happens with some people, especially when they're doing massive transformation work. And, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes Moldavite has the same energy as like Kali, or the same energy as the Tower, where it just like brings things to the forefront, it kind of clears the wreckage, and you can see the errors that you've made. So one of the things about working with something like rhodonite, now a lot of rhodonite has like a black, black in it. Okay, this one is much more pink, but most rhodonites, like if you just get a tumbly, I don't have one near me, but if you just get a tumbly rhodonite, it's mostly black and pink. It'll just be modeled like that. Really, really useful for grounding and working with transmuting energy too. So you can kind of ground and work in the heart center. So remembering that rhodonite will kind of help bring that out into the light so you can love it. And this are like kind of how you work with some shadow. If you're doing your own sort of shadow work and you're not getting a therapist, is just to like be able to kind of name it. This is what my teacher Pixie always says. You got to name it to tame it, and then you got to feel it to heal it, right? So first you name it. And the Moldavite will help that. The Moldavite will bring it out. Like I had a nightmare last night, and the nightmares are, like in the moment stink, but when you start analyzing them, you're like, oh, like that actually isn't that scary. That is a real fear of mine. And how I dealt with it in the dream is this default setting, and how I deal with it in real life is different. And I can change that. I can love it up. I can fulfill my own unmet needs, right? And that's part of the gift of rodent night. So yeah, I went on longer about rodent night than I expected. Hi, Angie Witzel. It's so nice to see you too. Oh, Teresa said rodent night's been coming up a lot lately. Makes sense. Yeah, me too. Aaron. Oh, hi, Aaron. I just bought a bracelet of rodent night. Oh, good. Yeah, rodent night's, it's just amazing. So yeah, these are your allies for the month. Rodent night, Rutilated Quartz, and then Moldavite. Oh God, Moldavite. I don't want to get your angry emails. I just want you to know that I love you and that Moldavite's not for everyone. Now let's talk about the animal ally for March. I was not surprised that we have fox as our ally for March. I'm excited to work with fox. And the reason I'm not surprised is that on Thursday, when I drove my daughter to school, I watched a fox hunting in the snow, it's so much fun to see foxes do their thing. It's like jumps up and then they go up and then they pop into the snow and get something under the snow, which is always so much fun to watch. And fox, they're just absolutely beautiful creatures. I don't think there is a culture in the world that doesn't have myth about fox. Fox is a powerful guide for many. It's a shamanic guide. And fox medicine is really powerful. So fox is all about magic and cunning. And mostly because like creatures of the night tend to always have magic and mystery as part of their medicine, because when you're in the night, humans don't, we do study nocturnal animals, obviously, but when we didn't study in that way, we didn't see them very much. We saw them in those liminal times between light and dark, or dark and light. But we don't usually hang out with them in the dark. So there is a lot of mystery, and they do seem to shapeshift, and they do have a lot of magic because things happen in the night. Rev B says, fox is one of my main go-to spirits. Oh, cool. And Teresa said, fox, yay, looking forward to journeying. Yeah, journeying with fox will be really fun. So fox has all this like magic and mystery. They're considered shapeshifters. And part of that is because they do have a lot of ability to appear and disappear. They kind of stalk in unseen places. And so they have that ability to blend into their surroundings. And often, if you're kind of working with fox magic, you can kind of or fox medicine, you can sort of blend into backgrounds. And that can be a real gift for us, and you can kind of think of it that way. So just kind of like making yourself invisible by saying like, you can't see me, you can't see me, you can't see me, can be a wonderful gift of fox medicine. If you haven't tried that, it's really cool. Like if you're at a party or in a group, which I know we're not supposed to really do yet, but if you are, just kind of sitting on a chair in the background and doing that can be fun. I think I read that in one of my shamanic books. Like that's a great way to work with fox medicine. So I love fox. Fox is also a wonderful mother, and really will do anything to feed her babies. In fact, part of the medicine, the mothering medicine of fox, is that she doesn't really give a shit what you think about her as a mother. She just does her thing to protect her babies. And so that fox medicine can be a real gift when we stop worrying about how others see us and we just do what we have to do to feed our babies and feed ourselves and mother ourselves. So wonderful maternal energy guide if you're working with fox in that way. Fox is also like someone who moves a lot, and they're swift, and they kind of adapt, right? They move to different places. If something gets compromised, like their den gets compromised, they easily shift. They don't try to keep going back. So foxes are also really charming. And it sounds kind of funny, but like foxes do that to their prey. They will jump around and roll around and kind of lure their prey into thinking, to just like watching them and being mesmerized by their movements and stuff, and then they'll attack. So that's part of the medicine of fox, and that's why foxes are often seen as charming and cunning. And you can see that in different, like pop culture references to fox as well. Native Americans, some Native American tribes attribute fox to bringing the fire, which is why there's like black on the tail, said to be burnt, right? They're seen as shapeshifters and they're shamanic guides for many. And part of this is like whenever somebody says, oh, that animal is a shapeshifter, what that means is they become human, right? And the human becomes the fox. The shamans can transform into fox and fox into human. So that's what makes their medicine kind of cool. And part of that is because they're so smart that humans, of course, we as egocentric creatures, are like, well, you can't be smart if you're not a human. So, but foxes are swift and persistent and intelligent and independent. And in some cultures, they're tricksters, and they have some of those negative attributes. But in shamanic circles, they're really wonderful guides. So we can work with fox as the one who brings forth medicine about past lives, about the past, about our ancestors. They kind of bring forth some of that lineage, and they can be a wonderful guide for stability and grounding too, in terms of like their small group. Teresa said magician and fox is a cool combo. It really is. They're both like magic, and I would say like the fox is going to be like the magician in that energy. So really, really great. But all right, so that's kind of the medicine of March, and I'm so psyched to have you all here with me. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? I'm happy to give you any answers. I'm not pulling cards right now or doing personal readings for anyone, but I am answering questions about any of this medicine or anything we talked about today. Oh, Rev B said fox and fire working. Yes, absolutely. Fox feels really fiery, right? Fire medicine. Is that how you work with it, with fox, Rev B? Yeah, again, I'm not doing readings, guys, so. Hi, Judith. Yeah. Rev B says sometimes yes. Cool. Yeah, going into areas with fox will be really fun. I haven't led a journey with fox yet, so I'm excited to see what messages fox brings forth and how we are going to work with him for our personal journeys. You can be one of my members on the Moon and Stone to get the shamanic journey every month, but I also list it in my shop if you just want like a one-off journey. There's journeys of all of my all of the months in there. So really, really fun to do these. And I'm enjoying it. In February, we did Great Blue Heron, which is a super gentle energy. And it just, so amazing. So I really had fun doing Great Blue Heron. We went up to the upper world and all of that. So fun. Oh, thanks, Patty. Patty said, very cool information. Rebecca said, I used my Moldavite recently and now have spirit people and animals in the bedroom. Oh my gosh. Are you okay with that, Rebecca? That's wonderful. Rev B says, depends on what time of working I'm doing at the time. Fox can manifest with any elements and each can be empowering and humbling as well. I can see that, honestly. Yeah. Especially because, they're of the earth. Yeah, just I can see that. So, well, guys, thank you for coming and doing this with me today. I'm so happy to be doing these monthly readings. And again, if you're interested in my work or interested in some of the stuff that I do, you can check me out at angieyingst.com. And then this is part of my membership group. It's not really part of my membership group. I use this reading as some of the formulation of like what I do in my membership group. So I'll do like the Fox journey for my group. And then they get readings at the full moon, the new moon. Some of them order personal readings during that time. And it's kind of like a package deal and they get it every month. So I'm not great at selling myself, but that's kind of the work I do. Susan said, I'm going to work with my Moldavite for the first time. You inspired me. Yay. Oh my gosh. Angie said, star beings come for me when I break out my Moldavite. Yeah, Angie, it's the star seed stone, I would say. It's kind of like the go-to for people who astral journey, astral travel, who work with people and guides from different dimensions, with like ETs and people who work. I don't work with that kind of energy, but I just love when my star seeds come into on my table. They're like, ooh, the Moldavite's going to send me out into outer space. I love outer space, so it's just really, really fun. So you're welcome, Mom. Hi, Mommy. Rebecca said, it was scary to begin with. Not so much the animals, but the people are a bit different. Yeah. Yeah, with Moldavite. Because they're not quite human. They're of other dimensions usually. So, aw, thanks, Rev B. Thanks for watching it. Teresa said, thank you, Angie. Love your monthly readings. I look forward to journeying with Fox. Journeying with Angie is awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for saying all these nice things. I'm going to journey with Sharon Muzio this afternoon. I'm going to be joining her. She's doing with Saint Germain. So I'm so super excited for that. So thank you guys for watching. All right, I'm going to sign off now. Bye. See you later.